How do you find the next opportunity in what we've talked about is really an experience economy? And an experience economy creates lots of opportunities. It also creates lots of competition that can come at those opportunities from many different ways. So I think of those of you in the room and the fact that you're here and you're partners with Dassault Systèmes, and I think you probably have been disruptors in your own categories, in your own businesses. So what you hopefully have to think about at the end of this 40-minute talk is how can you disrupt yourselves? Because that's really what innovation is today. It's disrupting, it's giving different ideas to people, meeting unmet needs, and doing it in a fun and connective way. How do you create a culture of constant innovation and constantly challenging yourself? I'm a big believer in market research. Just having constant feedback from your consumers, your markets, studying what your competition is doing, studying what you can do. I think part of the challenge we have in today's environment is, I know in the packaged goods industry, we've been very set up to be history miners, learning what happened in history and reapply it elsewhere. The Pepsi Challenge was an idea a bottler did in Texas, and it was pulled forth, and it was done nationally, and it was brought back 20 years later and worked equally well. But today, there's so much change that to assume that something that worked 5 years ago or 10 years ago will work today isn't necessarily true. So having the focus on what can I do with this insight, this observation, what can I create, and using a lot of rational and emotional cues and iterating. Sometimes you can get trapped looking at a problem that exists or your core benefit or service. It's doing well, it isn't doing well. And not that there's other things that your consumer is experiencing, and maybe if you can't win on the core item, you can shift and add some innovation in something that is ancillary to that, but still important. When I think of this couple of days you're spending here and what you're talking about, it's such a great environment to innovate. And the challenge is how to bring forth all those ideas and sort through which ways to deliver them, which ones are the best ideas, and how do I keep reinventing myself. And I think history is littered with products that sort of said, I got the market, and didn't reinvent themselves. And by the time consumers tell you, you're outdated, you need to change, it's too late. Somebody's changed for you. And so I think continuing to use feedback, challenge the market, figure out what's next, and think about not just features, but the experience. That's the way to really generate great innovative ideas and then constantly test them, model them, figure out which ones are going to have the most traction in your marketplace. And that culture element to your organization that says, be a challenger, keep questioning what is possible, and then make decisions and focus on the best ideas is critical to winning long-term and continuing to reinvent yourself. And the only thought I leave you with as a brand marketer is just make sure that change is true to your brand, because authenticity is very important today, particularly with the millennial population. They will see through an idea that's not authentic to the brand.